Okay, so I took one too many shortcuts in doing this one, and I'm out by a factor of 1,000,000. So can we just go back and pause that calcium hydroxide? As you can see, it's quite cloudy and messy. And so I was titrating solid calcium hydroxide, and I didn't filter it out because I was just being lazy. All right. So I did quite a few things. This is sort of just to show that it works quite well. The results are quite terrible. I'll show you the calculations at the end. So number one, I was only titrating 1 ml for it to be fast. Really, the whole beaker should be full, and there's 250 mils in there in order to cover all the probes. Because I don't want to write anything down and get the computer to do it all. So I wasn't willing to give up on the ammeter probe, and it was just detecting a sine wave for both the DC and AC settings on the power pack. So I went to a battery to not give up on the current, which gives me an idea of the conductivity for the conductometric. And then I've got the pH probe in there just to make sure it's all working as it should be. And of course, I'm not doing a titration, so the drop counter's doing all that work for me as well. I didn't calibrate the pH meter or the drop counter. They're pretty good without calibrating, but if you're out by like 1 pH or 2 pH, it does make the pH curve look a little strange if you look at it carefully. It's not the exact pH it should be, although the changes are quite good. And so you can see now that I've let the drop counter through and I'm adding HCl, that there's that little quick drop because it reaches a buffer, and then it slows down to a less steep curve, and then it's going to drop down extremely quick once it hits the equivalence point, and then it'll level out again. And once it hits the middle of that really sharp peak, the current will go even more negative because it's I need to swap the electrodes around. But that means it's conducting even better and the current's getting through even better. And so that's because of the hydrogen ions, because they're very good at conducting electricity in solution, because the charge transfers directly through the water molecules, where the rest get hydration shells and so are very slow to move through the liquid. And so killing a couple of birds with one stone, getting rid of the titrations into computer automation for in large industrial numbers. Doing a titration is very slow, and it's just a one-off thing, whereas computers can do mass industrial level testing. You can see now the titrate. You can see that little drop there. That's the titration equilibrium point, and you can see now the conductance is just constantly getting better and better and better because of the excess hydrogen ions. What else did I not do? I didn't standardize anything. The HCl doesn't need to be standardized, but it is just the student materials off the shelf, which can sometimes be like the completely labeled thing. It could actually be a base or 10 times stronger, or reagents gone off and they've been sitting in there for like 5-10 years. Maybe even have mold growing in them. So it needs to be some proper solutions. I've just, for convenience, just grabbed stuff straight off the shelf that's available. And so this one's worked quite well, a sort of a perfect titration curve, perfect conductometric. Unfortunately, it didn't decrease a little bit at the start, increase and then decrease, because I just dissolved 1 ml in 250 mils of water. It wasn't actually, the solution itself was not actually lime water. It was just contained a little bit of lime water. Okay, so for the calculations, I'm just going to use the data that I took actually today, because I didn't use 1 ml, I used 10 mils, which decreases your error massively, and the KSP calculation had a slight error in it too, so I'm just updating this video. And so the conductometric didn't work that well, as you can see here, but the titration curve did. So at about 47 seconds, so about 47 seconds is 1.15 mils. So that gives us slightly different data. So at 1.15 mils, the number of moles of H plus is, I'll just correct that small thing there, is that many moles. And therefore the stoichiometric ratio I found it's easy. We can just use that one instead of OH minus. So that means it's the same for calcium ions, and we use 10 mils of it, so the concentration is 0.0115. Now, you always need to do the Rice diagram if you're going to understand how the KSP is 4x cubed. And so there's an infinite amount of solid, so you don't really know what the solid is at the start and end. But you know the calcium will increase by 1, and the hydroxide ions will increase by 2. So if you sub those numbers into the K equation, that ends up being a 4x cubed. So you grab that x, and so the x is this value, or double if it was that, or half, whatever that is, but we didn't need to work it out. So substitute 0.0115 in there, and you get an answer that's much, much better than the really rough one I did previously, and it's 6 by 10 to the minus 6, which is not too bad. It's the answer's 5 by 10 to the minus 6.